All right, fam, what's going on? We are back with another video today. We got one today from The Wall titled Cheating Woman Explodes When Partner Asks for DNA Test. This is going to be a good video. I think we're going to learn a decent amount here, and there's some good points in this video, so I wanted to bring it to you guys' attention. Let's get into it.
This is me as a 31-year-old woman with no work done besides lip injections 3 years ago. I still don't get why people are so pressed about my TikTok saying 30s are the new 20s. I personally feel like I look better and am just all around better in my 30s than I was in my 20s. So here's what I look like day to day as a woman in my 30s. So it gets better if you take care of yourself and view yourself as an investment. Every single decade is going to get better and better and better.
So obviously, with all the technology we have in today's world, right, you're going to be able to look younger or older. I think the problem with what she's saying that's a little bit misleading, though, is that, yeah, you may be able to look younger, like as in just your looks, but women have a biological clock, right? So her advice of like, oh yeah, just take care of yourself, the 30s are the new 20s. It's a bit misleading to younger women because it may lead them to think that they have more time than they do, right? And the reality is you don't, especially in today's world. You got to get on that shit, bro. You can't be, waiting around here in your 30s to try to find a guy because it's not going to happen.
I just got a major update on some drama that I thought you guys might be interested in, and I would like to share. So I live in a very small town, and word gets around, okay? So there's a husband and a wife, okay? They get married, have a bunch of babies, buy a house, living the dream, right? They are loving life. Well, the husband catches the wife having an affair, okay? And he's like, not cool, right? He's pissed. Anybody would be. And he says, like, you better cut him off, knock it off right now, or we're getting a divorce. And she goes, okay, I promise. I will cut him off. We're done.
Man, don't be one of these guys, bro. Like, the only thing that a man should be doing when he finds his woman has cheated on him or has been unfaithful in the relationship is to leave. Because she doesn't respect you, bro. She doesn't respect you enough to not do something like that behind your back. Right? So why would you this is the problem, man, is that when men get married and they don't have high standards for themselves, now he's in a position where he's like, she's betrayed him, but he's kind of stuck. Because if he leaves, he's going to go through so much shit to get that divorce done, especially because they have kids. This is why I personally don't believe in, in getting married, right? I don't believe in that. And in the modern age, I don't think that it's a wise thing for young men to do. I mean, it's very risky, very risky. If someone was like, hey, 50% chance your parachute's going to, open up on the way down. Are you going to make the jump? I'm not. I'm not willing to take a 50-50 on that. And so I think that this is just an example of like guys getting trapped in their marriage. And he also clearly mentally is not valuing himself at the level he should be, because no one should entertain or give any second chances to women who do this sort of thing and have this kind of behavior.
We're not the thing anymore. He goes, okay, cool. Well, a couple of months later, she's like, hey, I'm going to go out and drink with my friends, we're going out, we're going to have a girls' night at this bar. And he's like, a little unsure, because of everything that just happened. He's like, I don't know if I necessarily trust you, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
That's what I mean. Like, if he doesn't trust her anymore, then this relationship is over, right? Because that's what a relationship is built on, is literal trust. So if the trust has been broken once, you're not just going to get that back, right? That's something that is never going to be healed. So there's no point in continuing the relationship. And any man, who has dignity for himself should never tolerate something like that. That's insane. I can't believe he, decided to continue in this relationship.
Have fun with your friends, right? So he falls asleep on the couch. Around 1 a.m, he gets a phone call. So he wakes up, answers it, and it's his wife. She's freaking out. She's crying, bawling her eyes out, like, you need to come pick me up right now. I need you to get here, like, immediately. He's like, oh my God, what's going on? She's like, just get here. So he goes to the bar, picks her up, And, her face is, makeup's running, eyes blotchy, crying, like really freaking out. And he's like, what the heck is going on? Like, I don't understand, like, why you're freaking out as much as you are. And she's like, I just had a fight with my friends. Like, I really need to get home. Like, things are just not good. I'm not having a good night. Just please bring me home. He's like, wow, okay, let's go home. So they go home. A couple hours later, like 3 a.m, he hears this boom, 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 boom. And he's like, what the heck? On his door, they're home. He's like, what the heck? So he goes downstairs and opens the door, and there's another lady standing in the doorway, and he's like, who are you? And she's like, yeah, hi, I'm the wife of the husband that your wife was having an affair with. He's like,
oh, hell no!
Once on Facebook.
Yeah, bro. This is why you don't give cheaters a second chance. Because when you give them a second chance, you're essentially just telling them that it's okay and that you've given them a pass to do it. You know what I mean? Because the reality is, if someone does something like that and there aren't consequences and they're rewarded, they're just going to continue that behavior. And obviously, the person doesn't have enough moral or like intellectual understanding and standards to not go do it again, because they don't really care about how you feel. It's more about what they want. So never, ever, ever give a girl a second chance, bro. If she cheats on you, she steps out, there's weird shit going on, never give her a second chance, bro, because she doesn't respect you enough. She's lost that respect. This is also why I think it's really important to note that you always got to be improving yourself, bro. You always got to be, you can't get comfortable in a relationship. A lot of guys, they'll get in a relationship, they get comfortable, they start getting lazy, fat, they don't work out in the gym, they're not taking leadership of their own lives. And then what happens? She starts to lose that attraction. She starts to lose that attraction and respect. And if you've chosen the wrong woman who's got, a immature mindset and doesn't use her prefrontal cortex to make decisions, she's going to step out. And again, this is why I just say don't get married, because these things happen. Sometimes you can't see the red flags in the person. Sometimes they don't happen until you've been in the relationship for a long time. And if you lock yourself in as a man, it's just not worth the risk. I don't see the reason why.
She goes, yeah. Did you know I caught them this afternoon? I caught her in my bed with my husband, and I chased her out of my apartment.
Bro.
His apartment is right down the street from the bar. So the cogs in his brain are spinning. He's like, oh my gosh, that's where she was. That's why she was crying and freaking out. She got caught and got chased out of the apartment, calls me, and that's why she's freaking out. He's like, well, what? Like, oh my God, right? And she goes, I'm just here to tell you about her pregnancy, because I just found out about this whole situation, found out that my husband's cheating. I just found out that she's pregnant, and I just found out that you don't know about it. Damn! So I wanted to let you know. He goes, thank you very much. Shuts the door, right? Confronts his wife. She's like, nope. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. Like, I'm not pregnant. I promise. Like, I swear to God. Well, come to find out, she was pregnant, and it wasn't her husband. So.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the pain you must go through as a man to literally find out that your wife is not only cheated, but she was so irresponsible as to get pregnant by another man? It's one thing where it's a quick fling or something like that, but when she gets pregnant, it's like, she really wanted that guy, because she just left. She threw all caution to the wind. That shit must hurt so bad, bro. Oh my God. But this is the thing, like, you need self-respect as a man. You gotta have your dignity. Like, why would you stay with someone who's clearly disrespected you and betrayed you on such a deep level as a man? You have mental problems if you allow that to happen, because a lot of times I think that this might happen because guys find a woman who is very attractive or hot, right? And she steps out, and then you're like, shit. But then you're like, but I'm married. I don't want to go through all that. And then you're like, but she's also really hot. It's going to be hard for me to find another girl like her. This is why I say level yourself. Focus on financial, mental, physical growth as a man and leveling yourself up, because that way, God forbid anything like this ever happens to you, you're now in a position where you have options, because you're one of the few rare men who actually puts in the work to self-improve.
They get a divorce, right? So she gets together with the guy she's having an affair with. All couples are divorced and separated at this point. So she had a baby a couple months ago, and it's been on Facebook, congratulations. It's a little weird, like, happy you're having a baby. A baby's a blessing, whatever. Can't change having a baby, right? Like, he's here. The husband, the guy that she's having an affair with, says, I don't think this is my baby. He doesn't look like me. I just have this feeling this isn't my baby. So we get a DNA test. And this is all new information. This is the information I'm finding out today. All that other stuff I just told you, old information, happened like last year, right? Come to find out, it's not his baby.
Bro.
It's not her ex-husband's baby either.
Oh my.
There's a third party out there that has fathered this child, and we don't know about it yet. So, when I get an update, I will be vigilantly checking Facebook. I will let you all know, and we can figure this out together.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
What amazes me, though, is like a woman like this, you know, this is why I think these kind of videos are important and these stories are important for us to hear as men, because a lot of guys out there, believe it or not, are still extremely unaware of like dynamics of women and how a lot of women think, a lot of women move. They don't understand it. So a guy like this, he probably grew up, you know, he was in a small town, traditional, but now he lives in the modern world. You got dating apps. You got access everywhere, right? Women can go sleep with tons of different guys who are high status. You got to understand what's going on, bro. Like, you can't just be naive, because this guy probably was naive. He probably thought that she was just going to be with him forever and she was perfect. Ignored all the red flags. You know what I mean? Was probably told to be a nice guy and just didn't understand the concept of, you know, how these type of women move, right? This is a classic example of a type of woman who her prefrontal cortex is literally broken, right? She doesn't use the decision-making part of her brain. She goes completely based off of her, you know, her reptilian brain, her amygdala. And basically whatever guy makes her feel good, she's going to go sleep with. It's like, it could be the mailman, it could be the freaking teacher at the school. It doesn't matter. As long as the guy is making her feel good, next thing you know, she's pregnant. And it's like, you have to understand how to identify these women and avoid them at all costs, bro. It don't matter if she's hot. It don't matter, because she will ruin your life.
I absolutely went into marriage knowing I was going to become a divorcee. There was no question in my mind. I knew at some point we would get divorced. The only question mark was when. I thought, you know, when I'm 40, maybe I'd get that title. Maybe then I'd earn to, you know, 10 years down the track. Because I think 10 years in a marriage, that's a pretty good innings in this day and age. That's like a good run. Turns out it was just 3. In the end, that's all we kind of reached our limit with. But, you know, still got the title in the end. And obviously, I don't want to get married ever again. However, double divorcee is a term that I'm living for. Like, that is cunt.
So let me get this straight. You really went into a marriage knowing damn well you didn't want to marry this man. You didn't think it was going to be long term, and you still sat up at the altar and said, I do. And you don't think that that's disgusting behavior, to lie to somebody, to manipulate somebody, to look them in the eyes and say forever and not mean it? And the amount of women in her comment section that are basically saying that they're in the same situation and they're waiting until the 10-year mark to get whatever they can out of their husbands, which means they're lying to their husbands every single day for however many years. And then you expected to play this long game, expecting it to last 10 years, even though it only lasted 3. Which means you'd be lying to him for the next 10 years, and you don't see that as a problem. In fact, you think it's funny, like it's a flex that you're going to be a double divorcee. And just imagine for a moment a man came on this app and spewed all this nonsense about using his wife just for the title.
Facts.
Let's be so for real. We all know how this goes. These women get on the dating scene and they get treated the exact same way that they treated the men in their relationships or in their marriages, and they can't handle it. And then they get online and cry, where did all the good men go? Even though they're basically breaking down and destroying all of the good men in the process. So they just perpetuate this same fucking toxic cycle and then blame all men. Like, since when is it cute to basically become an escort if you're marrying a man for money? Some of y'all need to stop using men and marriages as an ego boost and just fucking get yourself into therapy, but don't cry about all the men that don't want you, want nothing to do with you. And when you find a good man and he doesn't want you because you've been ran through, I don't want to hear any shit about all men are trash if you're perpetuating the cycle to creating all the men that are essentially trash by treating them like shit in the first place. Okay, bye.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Do you think
Damn, she cooked on that one, man. 100%. 100%. It's like you're creating a cycle, and then you want to complain about it. I mean, and then you want to complain, why don't men want to get married? I don't know, bro. Look around. You just look around and see what's going on. Just look around and see how many men are getting divorced and have their lives fucking ruined, man. In my own family, I've seen a whole bunch of times. That's why I don't want to do it, bro, because I've seen it happen. And it's not even necessarily that it was some crazy violent thing or some crazy thing. It's just time was up. You know what I mean? And it's just not worth it. There's no reason to do it. And personally, I think it's just better. I think you just have a better relationship when you don't have to be together because there's a piece of paper and a ring saying you have to. You're together because every day you choose to. That's the difference. So I always just advise guys, don't get married, man. If you guys think there's any benefits to it, leave it down in the comments below, man. But I don't see it. I'm not seeing it.
She's the only one who does this. I always it for a losing fed meaning in the ring. This is the only in it for their own someone who story.
I don't have any big additional breaking news information, but I figured since the video is getting so big, I will give you a bit of a backstory of what happened in between them getting divorced and then her finding out that, or him finding out that the child's not biologically his. Okay, we're gonna have to come up with names for these people because I was just trying to explain it and I was getting myself confused. So we're gonna call the original couple John and Jane. Okay, so Jane is the one that cheated on her husband John, and John is the one that went to pick her up at the bar. Okay, and then over here, this other couple we're gonna call Don and Danetta. Okay, and Don is the husband that cheated on Danetta with Jane. Does that make sense? So we just found out that Don is not the biological father of Jane's baby, and neither is her husband, ex-husband, John. So there's a random mystery baby daddy out there. And now, understandably, right after this happened, John had kind of a bit of a mental breakdown. John and Jane have 2 kids together, a boy and a girl, and now Jane has her son, who's, I think, 3 or 4 months old. Anyways, so John had kind of like a mental breakdown. Like, truly, it was really sad to see kind of the stuff that he was posting on Facebook. You could just kind of see it, that he just was not doing okay. He wasn't in his, he wasn't in a good frame of mind. And he also ended up drinking a lot, which is really unfortunate. And he got a couple DUIs and got his license taken away and lost custody of the kids. So,
right. So now he loses custody of the kids when she's the psychopath that caused this entire thing to happen. And because he wasn't aware of what could happen and he wasn't prepared, he goes down a mental spiral, and now she has custody. And so the cycle continues. Now her kids get raised up and she's teaching the same attitude and the same habits. This is what I mean by the system is broken as well, guys. Like, you have to stop playing into the hands of the system. Of it breaking down families. You know what I mean? Like, this marriage shit has got to stop. And a lot of people hate on content in this space when it comes to dating and relationships, and they hate on it. But the truth of the matter is, the more of this kind of content comes out and the more we can cover these stories, the more men are going to become aware that this is a reality. And now, yes, these might be, this isn't your everyday case, but this goes on a lot more than people think. Okay, and a lot of guys suffer, and this is part of why the suicide rate is so much higher for men, because a lot of guys suffer because of these sort of situations. This guy has mental health issues. He's got DUIs. He just lost his kids. His wife cheated on him and got pregnant by another man. What else does he have to live for, bro? What else does he have to live for? You know what I mean? And so this really important for us to be aware, not to come on here and say that every woman is like this. This is obvious. We already know this. But to come on here and say that there are many women out there who have no problems doing something like this, who are extremely selfish, narcissistic, and quite literally are psychopaths. So we need to be aware of this shit, because we need, we don't need to make the same mistakes that our parents, our dads, our grandfathers made. We need to learn from this shit. And so this is insane. This is absolutely insane. He lost custody and the kids are now gone. And the reality of the situation is now he's basically lost his entire life because of her decision. She made that choice to go out there and cheat and get pregnant by another guy. She made that choice, but then he gets punished. How does that make any sense? How does that work? Furthermore, I can't even, this is just crazy, bro. This is just crazy. Another thing, too, is that he might want to actually get a DNA test of all of those kids that he supposedly has with her, because who knows? They could be some other guys. At this point, you can't trust this woman at all. She's clearly insane. I would be getting all of them DNA tested. And this is exactly why the DNA test needs to be mandatory. It needs to be easily accessible, and it should just be done. I don't understand why you would not do that. I don't understand why you would go against that unless you have something to hide, or unless there's some reason that you don't want to do it. So I think it should be 100% mandatory. I think it should be 100% done just for verification. I don't see why. They've already got, fingerprint scanners, eye scanners. They're taking your blood at different places. They're putting vaccines and different stuff in you. So what? We can't do a DNA test when the kid's born? Just a quick swab to make sure?
So she has custody of their 2 kids right now, and I'm not really sure what's going on with him after that, but that's the last I've heard about John. So now Dawn and Danetta don't have any kids together. So when they got divorced, it wasn't really that big of a deal. Danetta kind of went her own way, and Dawn and Jane kind of did their own thing. Danetta is actually doing very well for herself. She found herself a new man, and she is killing it, slaying it, being a big badass boss queen. But she did like the post, which I thought was a little strange, because I feel like if I were to find my boyfriend cheating and find out that he got another girl pregnant, we wouldn't be friends on Facebook, right?
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
I don't know. I thought it was just a little weird that she liked the post. So maybe she knew, maybe this isn't this isn't the debut of this information. This is the debut for everyone else. But maybe other people have known for a while. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure it will come out because Jane keeps no secret.
When you stop talking to a man because he is simply doing everything other than treating you right, not taking you serious, playing with your time, not even taking you out on a date. Soon as you dub him, and it's been a couple weeks of you not contacting him, there he comes, strolling right back in, trying to act like he changed. All of a sudden, now he's trying to take you out. Now he's trying to show you that you mean something to him. And the only reason why he's doing that is because you're paying him no mind anymore. And he realized he officially lost you. So do not fall for it. He knows what he's doing, so I hope you know what he's doing. Because soon as you allow him back, he's going to treat you the exact same way he did when you first was talking to him. That man should have treated you right the first time around. So since he messed up his chance, there is no need to continue talking to him. Appreciate me the first time around, because there won't be a second. Just don't be delusional thinking that he changed.
And where is your effort?
Bro, these women come on and make these, posts on social media, and I really do appreciate it because it gives us, content to analyze, and it really helps because a lot of these women expose themselves, which is actually very helpful, and I do really appreciate it, But the fact of the matter is this. As a man, if you put yourself in a position where you physically are set, if you are mentally set, financially set, listen, bro, you are entered into the top tier of men, and you will have your options. Okay, you have your choices with women who are feminine, who are loyal, who actually don't play games. All these girls out here playing games and all this crap, all this mind shit. Oh, he's gotta do this and come back. I'm gonna treat him this way so that he thinks this. Look, dude, the women that you need to be around, the women that you want to be around, don't do that shit. So if a woman's doing that to you, just move on and just continue your grind, continue to level up, because when you get to a high enough level, you're going to have your choice and you don't have to abide by these stipulations and these rules and all this bullshit at the end of the day. Okay, that's my philosophy on it, bro. I'm not about MGTOW. I'm not about going your own way and just being celibate for the rest of my life. I'm not about that. Okay, what I'm about is becoming the best version of yourself so that you can attract the right woman into your life. And obviously, I'm very heavy on don't get married. I don't think even to the right woman, right? I don't think that even the quote unquote right woman, who seems to be good for you, I just don't see the point. I don't see the point. So anyways, we're going to end it right there, man. Today's episode is over. As always, just continue to push yourself as a man to be the best version of yourself you can possibly be. Watch out for these sort of things. That's why I make these videos, just to spread some awareness to some guys who might need it, to wake up to the fact that there are lots of women out here like this, and to be aware and not to fall into the traps of modern society and expectations to be getting married in these modern times. Okay, things have changed. You're going to have to adapt, or you're going to get left behind and end up like the guy that we just just saw in this story, man. I hope that he pulls his shit together and he can finally, maybe get his kids back or something. But this is what happens. This is the reality of what happens to a lot of guys out here. And we don't really hear these stories. We're always just hearing the stories of, oh, everything's so perfect and fine in relationships. And why don't guys want to get married and blah, 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 blah. But we don't hear these stories where guys are down so bad that their entire lives are basically over, bro. So just be aware. Just be aware, stay positive, keep grinding, and I'll see you guys next time.